I'm going to demonstrate for you how I would introduce a new writing center to my class. I'm going to set the expectations for them, give them a reason so they know it's not just busy work, or if it was an assignment, making sure that they know the reason why they're doing it. I'm going to explain the directions, and then if appropriate, I demonstrate it. With a writing center, I'm not going to write them a writing sample. We would have done that in other writing lessons, but I will walk them through what they need to do, and then instead of practicing with them, I will let them ask questions and then tell me what they're supposed to do, and then I release them to work on it. So I'm just going to demonstrate it in the way that I would to my class. So, all right, kids, today I'm going to introduce you to our new writing center. This is going to be used while I am working with small groups. So the expectations on you are that you know what to do. You get all your materials, you get started right away. You are working the entire time. And then when you are finished with it, you put all the materials back so that the next person who wants to use it can find everything and it stays clean. While you're working, I'll be working with other groups. So you need to make sure that you're listening right now and you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing so you can work while other people are working with me. The reason you're doing this is because this activity is going to help you become a better writer and maybe even find an area or a genre of writing that you really like. So when you go over to the center, you're going to find the bucket. And I'll have all these cards in it. You can use the paper that's in the bucket, or you can use your writing notebook. You have pencils at your desk, but just in case, there are some extra pencils in the bucket also. You are going to take a card. Your first time I would just take one. After you come back to the center another day, you might, and you know what to do, you might want to take a couple of cards to help you. But you're going to take a card. You can just look through them very quickly. Don't spend all your time sitting there reading them. Just grab a couple, look at it, and decide on the one you want. So I'm going to grab this one. This is the chinchilla. You can look at the picture on the back. It gives you a lot of information about it. So I want you to read it so you have some idea about the animal. These cards are pretty unique, so there's a lot of different animals in there. So read about that. And then you are going to use it to write. So you can choose really what kind of genre you want to write about. You could write nonfiction, which is reading this and then tell me about it. Don't just copy it. In your own words, tell everything that you learned about whatever animal you picked, about the chinchilla. You can also use it just to spark your writing. So, for example, today you're going to write about something having to do with zoos. So maybe it's about a time you went to the zoo. It could be a real story about a time you went to the zoo. Maybe you saw this animal. If you didn't see the animal, but it just gives you a good idea about a story that you already know from a time you went to the zoo, then you're going to write about that. And don't worry about Mr. Chinchilla. If you did see one, you could write about that. Or you could just write a story about being at the zoo and seeing the chinchilla, or maybe the chinchilla going to the zoo. Anything that you can think of, that's what you're going to write about. Because to be a better writer, you need to write. So this is just to help you get an idea. But if you've already got an idea, then you're not stuck to these cards. You don't have to write about them, but they are used to help you have a good idea and get started right away. Because that's going to be the most important part, is that you write. You get started and you're writing. That's what will make you a better writer. So at this point, I would ask if anybody has any questions. I would answer their questions only if they're on topic. If they're kind of going off, like, what can I do next week? Or what if I want 5? Things like that. Just try to keep them to questions that will help them figure out what to do in the center. So just grab one for today. Tomorrow you can grab 5 if that's what they're asking about or whatever. Then once I feel like, okay, you guys know what you're supposed to do, I might quickly just go over it. All right, when I release you, when I tell you it's time, you're going over, you're going to grab the bucket, you're going to make sure you have your paper, your pencil, and you're going to grab a card, you're going to go find your spot and start writing. Okay, so they're going to read about it, write about it, or write a story about the zoo. And then once, it's hard to demonstrate without you seeing the kids, but once you have the feeling, yeah, they've got the idea and they're ready to go, then you ask them to repeat to you. Who can tell me what you need to do? What's the first thing? Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Next thing, grab the card and go sit down and write. And then when they're done, they put the card back. Okay? So practice it, kind of practice in your head how you say it. You don't have to follow my words, just what your kids know or how you explain things. And then be ready to explain to your kids how to do it so they can really be independent of you. They can practice writing, they can become better writers, and you can work with who you need to.